Good morning. It's Sunday, June 16th. And when Donald Trump was president, I didn't think that he did many good things for this country. But one of the good things that he did do was ban bump stocks. Now, bump stock is a mechanism that you can put on a rifle or some gun like that allows it to become like a machine gun. So Donald Trump's action in banning bump stocks was a very good. And now the Supreme Court has overridden Donald Trump's ban by a 6-3 margin and it's his Supreme Court. He appointed 3 of the members on that Supreme Court who voted to overturn the bump stock. And he has congratulated. He's happy that they overturned it, even though he was the one that banned it. And he banned it in 2017 because there was an event that took place in 2017 when he was the president. There was a gunman who stood on the roof of a Las Vegas hotel, and there were festivities going on below him. And he had a gun with a bump stock on it, and he proceeded to shoot and killed 60 people and wounded an additional 400 people because he was using this mechanism with the bump stock. And he had installed that mechanism on his guns by himself. And then Trump took the proper action. He banned the bump stocks. That was a rare example of the U.S. making a change to its gun policies in the wake of a mass shooting. And it was a reform that the survivors of the attack welcomed. Not only did the survivors of that attack welcome it, but the National Rifle Association, which would normally oppose any action taken in favor of gun control, voiced approval of this particular action. Now that he's running for office again, he has decided that it's okay for the Supreme Court to allow bump stock to be part of our community. At some point, when the gun manufacturers were developing various tools to make semi-automatic rifles fire at a higher rate, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms looked at these advances, so-called, and they had to make a formal declaration about whether these things were legal or not. And so the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms decided that after the Las Vegas shooting, when the bump stocks operate at a certain way, basically enabling automatic fire, that they are a legal weapon. And so they were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. The ATF took a good hard look at the facts, looked at its past decisions, and it decided that it was best not to allow bump stocks to be legal. So now the Supreme Court has overridden that great decision. It's obvious to me that the Supreme Court doesn't look at anything that affects our society. Because right now in this country, we have already had 224 mass shootings this year. And at that rate, we will probably hit 500 by the end of the year. So does the Supreme Court care about the lives of innocent people? No. They are looking at this strictly from some misguided opinion of what the law is supposed to be. They are not prepared to hold citizens responsible for their actions. They are allowing many people in this country to get their hands on a weapon of destruction. Why? Why? Is it everybody's right to have a gun? Second Amendment rights? to make us mass murderers? That's not what the Constitution intends. That's not what the ruling in there. That's not even what the word is. When they talk about a well-regulated militia, they do not mean that everybody should be carrying a gun and killing people indiscriminately. And so why? Why was it necessary to even take a look at this case? When this case was brought before the Supreme Court by gun owners, gun shop owners who want to make a profit out of selling more guns, and the Supreme Court goes along with that? That's pure, unadulterated ignorance. When you look at the makeup of the Supreme Court, they are not experts in this area. And when we have the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms against this decision. A bureau of experts who understand the workings of the gun owners and the gun manufacturers. Why? Why would the Supreme Court go against that group of our government? They know nothing about firearms and the mentality. The Supreme Court has made a very bad decision, an unnecessary decision. The fact that you need to give everybody the right to have a firearm that works like a machine gun. Is that necessary? Who needs that type of weapon? Only a lunatic. We don't have a well-regulated militia in this country anymore. What we have are loose cannons all over this country waiting to get their hands on weapons of destruction. And the Supreme Court did not look at the whole picture properly. And the people who brought this case had profit on their mind, not goodness. Nothing good can come out of this decision. We're going to have a nation of people who are getting more and more guns. Is that what we want? Is that what the Supreme Court was about? To help killers? It's a disgrace that one of our leading organizations, the ATF, was against this decision, and the Supreme Court just goes ahead and makes a decision out of the blue, not considering the effects on the nation that it is supposed to protect. So this Supreme Court is a disgrace from one end of it to the other. And I leave you with that this morning. An ugly, ugly situation that has just gotten worse. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you.